So, hi everybody. Thank you all for joining. I am Karen Bebelaar. I'm head of program development at World Robot Olympiad, the association, so the umbrella organization that is responsible for WRO in all the countries. And that I do for a living in my free time. I'm also the national organizer or one of the national organizers for WRO in the Netherlands. So I have two hats on. Which also means that I can also share some information with more the head of a national organizer and a competition in the country. I am not sure how much everybody knows about World Robot Olympiad, so I wanted to do a very quick recap and then focus mostly on our Future Innovators competition because that is what we are working on in the countries in Africa and the new countries in Africa mostly. So that would also be where your help in mentoring kids, mentoring teams, or other ways in which you can help would mostly focus on. So World Robot Olympiad organizes robotics competition. The name says it all. And we do this because we want to introduce as many young kids and young people as possible to STEM education. And robotics is a tool for that. Um, because if you work on robotics, you pass all these STEM, um, oh, sorry, pass all these STEM skills. Um, our teams in WRO, so the teams that join the competition are actually quite small. They are 2 or 3 students, which means that there is usually a very good way of working together. If you have bigger teams, also my own experience with coaching teams for several competitions, um, you usually get 1 or 2 kids that, for example, do all the coding and the others don't play a role in it because there's always like the 2 kids that, kind of work together. So our teams are quite small, which means that everybody gets a good chance to do everything in the project. Internationally, we offer 4 competition categories. I will get back to that. And actually, so what is important for the kids when they join a competition or a program like WRO? Of course, they need to understand about robotics, but they also learn to prepare, to plan, because they need to be ready at the competition, to make prototypes and learn from their mistakes and maybe do it all over again if it doesn't work. So testing, iterating, and of course to deliver, because at the end, at the day of the competition, they need to be there with their presentation or with their robot working. And I think you also have the experience as young people. Those are the skills that you need in the rest of your life. So if you get in contact with that at a young age, it is very valuable, of course, for the rest of your career. Um, of course, we have a competition each year in all the countries. Some countries are very big, others are very small. But the key for me is always that this is where WRO actually takes place. So there is an international final, there are open championships, and that is a very amazing event. But our goal is, of course, to reach as many people on the ground in the countries. So it's not all about winning the Olympic Games, but it's also about how can you attract as many kids in a country to work on these topics. I think we have them all here, but I'm not even 100% sure if I have all the new countries on this map. But as you can see, we are in very many countries all over the world. We started in 2004 with only 11 countries, I think, and now we are over 100 countries, with more to come on the Africa continent. So we have already grown a lot in the past year, but the goal is to get even more countries there. And the impact of WRO is actually great, and we see that, of course. If we coach teams, you would see it if you work with a team and mentor them, how much progress they can make in a couple of months. But there's also been resource, of course, that has been done, and 2 important ones are actually from a couple of years ago, but where it's actually also shows that participating in competitions like WRO really affects the ability of young people. So it is important. It's not only for fun. It really also makes a difference. And actually, funny thing, I opened this presentation and I saw the photo, and this is actually the guy you see on the photo is actually a boy living in Germany, but who fled from the Syria war with his parents. And he was always interested in robotics. And on his high school, he ended up getting connected to a German boy that also was really in robotics. And basically, they found each other there. And the parents of this German boy basically also took him under their wings, made sure that he could also travel to the competitions, and even made sure that both of them could go to the international final in Thailand, I think. So it's also very nice to see that new connections are being made, and it really makes a difference for some kids, really a lifelong difference, which is interesting. I just saw the photo when I opened the presentation. At WRO, we offer several categories and age groups internationally, and all our countries basically choose which one of these competitions they offer. But to give you an overall view, I thought we'd go briefly over all these competitions. And I will get back to them later, but we have a project-based competition, Future Innovators, a competition that takes place with a robot doing challenges on the table, Robo Mission, a Robo Sports competition where two teams have two robots and they compete with each other like a tennis game or a soccer game, or it changes all over the years. And we have a competition which is more meant for the more advanced students, and that is our Future Engineers competition. So I already said the teams are small, and we have different age groups in these competitions, so the kids participate on their level with peers in a similar age group. This is a brief overview of our competitions, actually, and I wanted to briefly tell you a little bit about the three competitions that most countries in Africa would not start with or are not participating in, with a few exceptions, because the countries that have been at WRO longer do it. So I did not want to miss them for you. Our Robo Mission competition is really a table competition. Oh, interesting. Now I did not notice. I suddenly have give me 1 second, because now I have how do you call that in English? We have animation there, which of course was not the intention. I don't want animations anymore. Let's see if I can get that out. Animation. Oh no, transitions. That is what I needed. Sorry for this. No. Okay. This should solve it. Otherwise it was going a little bit fast. Robo Mission. That's where I was.
You need to share screen, Karen.
Yeah, sorry. It was also not working. I was checking if it worked. I don't want any transition. Probably I need to save it. This is what you get if you use slides that already exist. Somebody made transitions. Robo Mission. The Robo Mission competition is actually the biggest one in WRO. So if you look worldwide, you have most teams are participating in our Robo Mission competition. The students, they build a robot that can solve challenges on a table, game table, with a new theme and new elements every year. And the trick is that they have 2 minutes. The robot has 2 minutes to solve these challenges, and they can only hit the start button one time. So the robot needs to be truly autonomous, needs to do everything on its own, and actually should also be coded in such a way that it can make decisions, because certain items on the field are randomized before the round. So after the teams have put their robot in quarantine area, there is a randomization, so the robot really needs to make choices. This was always a competition that was done with Lego robots, Lego materials. But starting 2025, this is a category that's open for all platforms. So for us this year, it's a big experiment. A good thing is that it will also make this competition possibly a bit more interesting in the coming years for countries where there are not a lot of Lego robots available. because it's quite an expensive platform. So we think that there will be alternatives and also alternative companies that would also provide robots that you can easily use in this competition. Robosports also used to be, again, the robot sports competition also used to be played with Lego robots. And this is really a one-on-one competition. So it's very exciting for the audience because it really is like a sports game where the robot, the current year, the theme is, double tennis. So the robot needs to, get as many points and as many ping pong balls in this case on the field of the opponent, who is of course, their robots are trying to get all the ping pong balls back again. This is not one of our biggest competitions, but in some countries it's really, really popular. And of course, yeah, you can imagine the competition is really exciting because it's really one-on-one. And then our more advanced competition, Future Engineers, which is mostly developed for a little bit older and more advanced students, and now even for students in the age of college and university. So more kids can participate in this. And it's a self-driving car challenge at the moment. So it's really a little bit more towards what is happening in the industry and what is happening in real life. And an important part here is that the teams also need to um, basically keep track of their engineering workflow, share what they have done. So really they are supposed to share their solution on the GitHub so that others also can learn from it. So we really encourage here also the open platform, so that it's not the case that from year to year you can keep your solution secret, because yes, of course, if you want to build an autonomous car as a company, you want to keep your design secret. But in science, of course, advancement goes because we are making things open and we can learn from each other. So this is really what we want to learn in this competition, also to the team. But my most beloved category actually is our Future Innovators category, which is really a project category. And this category has been open platform for many years, which also is the reason that quite a few starting countries that are not automatically like the richest country, like a country like the Netherlands, where there's a lot of Lego platform, but countries that are quite more resourceful with different robot materials start with. And this competition, it's a project-based competition. My presentation is all over the place now, but students need to create their own intelligent robot solution. And there's always a theme of the year. So basically, they do research into the theme. They think like, okay, we have developed a problem that is sometimes very close to their own city, village, or what they are confronted by daily. Sometimes it's a bigger world problem. And they build a robot model that can help solve this problem. So that can help humans to solve a problem or to make things easier. And this robot model they need to present at the competition. And this is a picture from the international final. So you would see at that place models that are a little bit more advanced. But this model can be huge, like you see in the picture here, but it could also be a very small one. The thing is that it needs to be a good solution. They present the model to a group of judges who, of course, will ask questions, and they will be graded on the engineering part, the coding part, a little bit on their teamwork, and also on entrepreneurship. And with the youngest age group, there's a little bit more emphasis on the teamwork. With the older age group, it's of course a little bit more about entrepreneurship. Would your robot model actually be a feasible solution? Can you sell it? In which way can you sell it? But it is not a competition like a Shark Tank where it's all about making money. The core is always on robotics and on the robotics design and engineering. And an important thing that we are trying to learn all our teams worldwide a little bit more each year is actually what we consider a robot solution. So what we want to see ideally in this competition is that the students make a robotic device that has mechanisms, sensors, and actuators, and it's operated with one or more robotics controllers, and it should do more than being a machine that only repeats a workflow. And it should be able to make autonomous decisions. So the teams that can really build a model that is close to this have the best chance. We do also see a lot of things for which you think like, yeah, is it simply a machine that can do two things, or is it really a robot that can interact with the environment? It's a very big gray area, of course. But where you as potential mentors could also be a role in getting the teams thinking about just a little bit more, okay, what can we improve to make it more a robot or to make it better? And I just wanted to show you a few pictures, some from some competitions last year in several Africa countries, but also some from the international final and two from my own Dutch teams, because I wanted to show that in this competition, it's not necessarily about who can make the biggest or the best and the most shiny robot. It's actually more about the idea behind it. And yes, there are teams that have access to a lot of resources. You sometimes see teams of schools or robotics clubs that have maybe quite a lot of money or materials. There's always teams, of course, that have connections because their parents are working at some company and they can get more materials. But in the end, it's definitely not the team with the most shiny robot that wins the competition. So it is all about the smartness of the solution, how they have thought about it. And as you can see, I could have put a lot of pictures in with very shiny examples, but it's not always about that. And I wanted to actually also emphasize this because I do sometimes get questions. Okay, but schools, for example, I work with all the robotics countries or all the participating countries, and I do have also starting national organizers asking me, okay, but our schools, for example, they are not so rich, they don't have so much materials. Can we also compete in this category? And then I need to say, most of the projects that we see and my colleagues see at regional events or national finals, they are quite modest in material. And even at the international final, you see a lot of teams that do have a good idea, but not maybe all the resources. And the picture on the left bottom corner, I think your image is mirrored, but is actually a Palestinian team. And you can see that it's not the most shiny robot, but it was a good idea that they had. And of course, the judges would also look at, okay, this is a robot model, it's functioning. What is the idea behind it? If they would have more, if this would be a project with unlimited money, would it be a good robot model? And I actually also added my one of our Dutch teams, so with the orange shirts, they won the competition in the Netherlands, and then they had a model for which the concept was very good, but they did not have it all finished. And towards the international final, they basically worked on their model to make it better, and actually ended up second. And it was actually the first time that the Netherlands really participated in the Future Innovators competition. So I was actually quite proud. But it shows that there's a lot of progress from a national level and a competition at the national level, and a lot of things that also you can do as a mentor to guide a team towards the international event. Because usually their ideas is good, but like, if you go a step higher, there will be other teams that also have good ideas, but some have more experience in presenting or have had the opportunity to have more critical feedback. So they made their project better. And I think this is a very important part and role that you can play as mentors of a team. You might not be there from their very start, but once they have a concept and an idea, you can help them to take little steps to improve their idea and to get better and to also, um, you know, practice a little bit, doing their presentation for you as mentor to have a practice round for when they need to do it internationally. So I think this is a part where you can play a very good role with your experience also as within Google, and just asking, asking the right questions or having them giving them feedback and tips on a presentation or what they want to present. So very valuable information that you can give them as mentor. And actually, I think this is what also made this team from the Netherlands end up second. They had a good project. They were working with their coach, but we arranged for them that they would have one afternoon also with an more experienced coach that has a lot of experience in international competitions. And basically, just by asking them other questions or giving them feedback, hey, you are telling us this, but the judges will not understand if you said it like this. So think of a different way of, sharing their message. And that's actually what made them end up second, I think. So this is a role that would be very important and that you can play as Google mentor. Actually, so this was my slides. I'm also having a cold, as you know this. And I thought that maybe you have some questions.
While you're,
Sorry.
that's okay. I was going to take over from you, Karen, give you a chance there. So thanks so much, Karen. Really insightful and concise as always, and a great emphasis on the future innovators. I'm already thinking of people that I'll be sharing this video with, particularly in relation to the future innovators part. Are there any questions from anybody? If you want to either come off screen and or put a hand up. Okay. Okay. We're just gone past half past, so I think if you haven't any questions, Karen, if you want to finish out, that's fine. I just want to thank you on behalf of everyone. We will share this video with all those who are signed up. We had lots of people signed up this morning. I know student life is busy, so
I know.
get called away to lectures, and it's difficult to keep time schedule on that basis. But we look forward to supporting all of you. We have a second session coming up next week with one of your own Google Developers Club who worked in Kenya with last year in supporting a team before they went to the international finals. As Karen has mentioned, a very, very important role. And following week, then we will take a break for Ramadan. And in early April, I'll give an update in relation to child protection online and what you have to be aware of when you're dealing with young people who are under the age of 18. So, Karen, thank you. I don't know if you want to come back in again. Certainly, if you have any questions, you can contact me. I'll filter them on to Karen. And we look forward to working with all of you at some stage, either with your local teams or with the teams that are going to international competitions. Karen, you want to finish now?
Yeah. Thanks,
Okay.
Joe. I have nothing more to say. I'm very happy actually that though I also indeed know that student life is busy, but I'm already happy that with the people that are here, but also with the people
Yeah.
that will listen maybe, because just saying, competitions like WRO and what we can learn to the younger people, so the generation coming after you, coming very much after me, because my kids are actually already in far beyond the student age. But it is, of course, the help of people with a little bit more experience, people like you, that basically can, even if teams don't go to an international event, this attention that you can give them and the questions that you can ask them and how you can nudge them to maybe think a little bit further or think a little bit in a different direction is very valuable. because it always works if a person, connected to Google says something to you. Of course, you listen to that and not listen to your teacher or your parent or whatever. It's always the external people that I think make a lot of impact for teams. So you can be there to, give them these extra lessons and help them, grow up confident, but also confident in STEM education and taking everything out of what they can do, because that is what we really see. I think all of us participating in these competitions, you see kids in 3 months sometimes from being very shy and not wanting, be very shy to explain what they have done, but because they need to overcome all these scary moments, 3 months later they will just go to anybody they see and just say, "Hi, I'm this and this person. I've participated here and here, and I want to do something." And that is something that you can help them with. So very valuable, and we are very grateful that you are all wanting to help them.
Thank you, Karen. I think you summarized it brilliantly there. We look forward to working with you all because you, as role models, will definitely make a difference. Thank you so much, everyone. Thank you so much, Karen. Appreciate it. I'll stop the recording now. Bye bye.